If you like these videos and you want to see them a day before they go out on YouTube, head over to LBRY. It's an awesome decentralized alternative to YouTube and I absolutely love it. Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite creator who's kinda chubby, Gardiner. Today we're going to be talking about the System 76 Oryx Pro. I'm really stoked about this machine. If you know me, if you've known the channel for a while, you know that I have a pretty good relationship with System 76. I think they're really cool people. I've done giveaways with them on the channel before. I've been to their headquarters several times. They are awesome people, and I'm going to try to not let that color my review of the Oryx Pro, because they reached out to me just a few weeks ago and said, hey, you want to review the Oryx Pro? I said, yeah. So they sent me one. And here it is. This is the new System 76 Oryx Pro. Now let's flip it around like that. It's a nice looking device, I gotta say. It's cool. So let's go over this machine. Let's talk about my experience with it, and this should be a lot of fun. So let's talk about the specs. The System 76 Oryx Pro features a 10th gen Intel Core i7 CPU, switchable Nvidia and Intel graphics, open source core boot firmware, and up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. This particular model comes with a 15-inch 1080p 144Hz display. The minimum bezels here are really impressive. In terms of the I/O, this ain't no MacBook, and that's a good thing. On the left side, we have a microphone jack / SPDIF connector, a dual function headphone and microphone jack, a Type A USB 3 port, a micro SD card slot, which I found to be an odd choice. Why not just a regular SD card slot? And a Kensington lock. On the right side, we have two Type A USB 3 ports and a collapsing Ethernet jack. I don't know what the technical term for that is, but I say collapsing because it's fun to say collapsing. On the back, we have a Type C USB port, an AC input, an HDMI port, and a mini display port. On the front, there's a webcam and a microphone array. This is a test of the microphone array and the webcam on the Oryx Pro. Not a lot to write home about in that department. It's a powerful little laptop, and I really enjoyed using it. The screen is a good size, though having been spoiled by high DPI displays for the last few months, the overall pixel real estate feels a tad bit limited at 1920 by 1080. The keyboard is pleasant to type on. I'm a fan of the chiclet key style, and this laptop delivers. It has a standard QWERTY layout with a numpad and a backlight. I've become accustomed to backlights. I actually really, it's kind of a necessity for me at this point. And so the fact that there's a nice backlight on here works great. With this one, you can change the color, toggle the lights on and off, and adjust the brightness. Or adjust the... Is it just me or is this wrong? These brightness controls are upside down. I get what they're going for. Plus means add light and minus means subtract light, but my brain does not like this. Whenever I try to adjust the backlight on the keyboard, my monkey brain expects the key on top to brighten and the key on bottom to dim. But they're opposite in this situation. I don't know, am I the weird one here? Let me know your thoughts. Now, I have to nitpick a little bit. I gotta be completely honest with you. I've complained about this before with other System 76 laptops, and this is just something that irritates me. I do not like the font on the keycaps. I'd prefer something softer, maybe something like, I don't even know. It doesn't even have to be softer. It just, I think this is a bad font in general. I mean, I might get a little bit of flack for saying this, but I feel like this font is on par with Comic Sans. Like, it's just not a pleasant looking font. I just don't think that's how an @ symbol should look like. I don't think that's what a capital R should look like. That's just me personally. That font is not good. With my nitpicks out of the way, let's get back to the review. The trackpad is large and responsive. One of my complaints about previous System 76 laptops has been the trackpad. Usually they've been relatively small with respect to the overall chassis. I really like this trackpad. It's much bigger, and it's been a while since I've used a trackpad with dedicated buttons, and honestly, this has kind of reminded me of what I was missing. The performance on this Oryx Pro is absolutely spectacular. I really love the inclusion of a dedicated GPU here. Games run great. I was able to play Doom Eternal and Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 1080p, both running above 60 FPS. Doom Eternal was the real champion. Running in ultra nightmare settings, it was capable of delivering almost 130 FPS like consistently for most of my time with the game. The Shadow of the Tomb Raider benchmark showed the game ran at a minimum of 78 FPS and an average of 101. And that's pretty good, but there was significant frame pacing issues which made for a rather start and stop kind of jerky feeling, especially on a high refresh rate monitor. It was very perceptible, the frame pacing issues. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it was kind of hard to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's also worth mentioning that the fans spun up and sounded a bit like a jet engine when I was playing these games. This laptop, even under general web browsing conditions, gets pretty warm. Like warm. Toasty even. Now, I'm not saying that this machine gets dangerously hot, but I am saying that if I didn't have a insulated laptop pad, I would probably have some very sweaty thighs. Now, keep in mind that the performance for Doom Eternal and Shadow of the Tomb Raider are with the machine plugged in and with the Nvidia graphics card enabled. In order to switch between integrated and dedicated GPUs, you need to reboot the machine every time you want to switch. What is this, Windows? Now, this is quite a lamentable fact because the Intel graphics chip, the integrated one, has much better power consumption than the Nvidia card. And that makes battery life kind of a mixed bag. With the integrated GPU, I was averaging about 5 hours for battery life, but with the Nvidia card always on, I was getting something more like 3. Honestly, not a huge deal because I very rarely use my laptop's battery as anything other than a UPS, but still, it's worth mentioning. All right, let's talk about the single greatest flaw of this machine. The integrated speakers. They are lacking any dynamic range, there's no bass at all, and the treble is harsh and piercing. Furthermore, at the highest volumes, these speakers tend to clip and distort the audio terribly. For a laptop of this spec and price point, I would expect much better integrated speakers. But I want to give a special mention to Pop! OS. Every time I use it, it gets better and better. The integrated firmware tool is incredibly handy. It updated the Logitech Unify receivers that I had plugged into the machine. That's cool. Didn't even know there was an update. Thanks, System76. I appreciate it. Plus, System76 just rolled out this awesome tiling window manager. It's super useful and changes my workflow in unexpected and interesting ways. And it works about 90% of the time. So my final thoughts, System76 has made an excellent machine here with only like one glaring issue, and that is the audio. The integrated speakers need to be addressed. They're bad. Everything else, if you're a AAA gamer, if you're wearing headphones, if you do 3D design work, this is a machine that you will love. It's a beast in every sense of the word. I have thoroughly enjoyed reviewing this unit, and I am genuinely sad that I have to send this back to them. If you like these videos and you want to see more like it, I don't know, what do you guys think? Have you tried the new Oryx Pro? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think of this. I'd do more of these in a heartbeat if you guys wanted to see them. Let me know down there as well. I want to give a special shout out to Marcus Batson and the 110 other amazing people over on Patreon who make what I do here possible. Without them, I would not be able to do this, so thank you to my patrons. If you believe in the work that I do, you can help support the show over on Patreon. There's also LBRY. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.